Learn English through stories. Intermediate English. How the camel got his hump. Have you ever wondered why camels carry humps on their backs? The answer begins with a lazy camel, a magical djinn, and one stubborn word: humph. Learn English through this ancient tale and uncover the surprising mystery of how the camel got his hump. The lazy camel. When the world was still young, the animals had just begun to work for man. But in the middle of the desert lived a camel who refused to help. He ate sticks and thorns, and whenever anyone spoke to him, he simply said one word: humph. Horse's invitation. On a bright Monday morning, a horse came trotting up to him, with a fine leather saddle on his back and a bit in his mouth. "Camel, oh camel," the horse neighed cheerfully, "come out from your desert and trot like the rest of us." The camel looked bored and lazy. Camel refuses to work. "Humph," grunted the camel, turning his back rudely. The disappointed horse trotted away across the sand to tell the man about the lazy animal. The camel watched him go without a care in the world, then found a fresh patch of thorny milkweed to chew on, perfectly happy in the warm sun. Dog brings a stick. Next came a friendly dog carrying a stick in his mouth. "Camel, oh camel," he barked, wagging his tail. "Come and fetch and carry like the rest of us." He dropped the stick hopefully near the camel's nose, waiting for play to begin. But the camel didn't even move. Camel yawns. "Humph." "Humph," snorted the camel, yawning so wide his teeth gleamed in the sun. The dog's happy tail drooped sadly. He picked up his stick and padded away to tell the man about the lazy camel who refused both work and play. The camel closed his eyes, content to nap in silence. Ox and the plough. After a little while, a great strong ox came plodding up, a heavy wooden yoke across his shoulders. "Camel, oh camel," the ox mooed wearily, "come and plough the fields with me, like the rest of us. My work is long and heavy, but it feeds the people and keeps us alive." Camel avoids work again. "Humph," mumbled the camel, without even lifting his head from the warm sand. The ox sighed a heavy sigh, turned his great body, and trudged slowly away to find the man. The camel chuckled quietly to himself. He thought he was clever. 3 jobs avoided with just one lazy word. Man hears complaints. At the end of the day, the man called the horse and the dog together. He looked tired and frustrated. "I have heard from you about the camel," he said. "It seems he has no interest in working. This is a problem we must solve together, because the work must still be done." Extra work ordered. The ox arrived, and the man addressed all 3 animals. "I am very sorry for you," he said, "but that hump thing in the desert won't work. So, I must ask you 3 to work twice as hard to make up for it." His voice was apologetic, but his decision was firm. Animals hold a meeting. Angry and exhausted, The three animals held a meeting at the desert's edge as the sun went down. They grumbled about the unfairness of it all when the camel strolled by chewing milkweed. He saw their long, sad faces and laughed, thinking their misery was the funniest joke he had ever seen. Camel laughs at them. "Humph," said the camel with a smirk, rolling lazily into the twilight. The three animals stared after him, angrier than ever. Complaining to the man had failed. If the work was to be fair again, they needed help. Not from man, but from someone far more powerful in the desert. The jinn appears. The next day, a jinn came rolling across the sands in a swirling cloud of golden dust. This was no ordinary spirit. He was the jinn of all deserts, master of the dunes and winds. He stopped his cloud before the horse, dog, and ox, who looked up in awe and relief. Animals tell their story. "Jinn of all deserts," said the horse, stamping his hoof. "Is it right for anyone to be idle in a world so new and full of work?" Then he explained about the camel, who lived in the desert, ate prickles and thorns, and answered every request with just one word: "Humph." Jinn hears of camel. "Certainly not," said the jinn, his voice like the wind rushing over dunes. "That is not right at all." "Well," said the horse, "there's a creature in your desert with a long neck and long legs. He hasn't done a single stroke of work since Monday morning, and he only answers with, 'Humph!'" Jinn recognizes his camel. "Phew!" said the jinn, whistling low in surprise. "That's my camel, by all the gold in Arabia! What does he say about it?" The jinn stroked his chin thoughtfully. He knew every creature in his desert, and he had heard whispers of this lazy one. It was time for him to act. More complaints about camel. "He only says, 'Humph,'" barked the dog sadly, "and he will not fetch or carry." "Only 'Humph,'" agreed the ox, shaking his head. "And he refuses to plow." The jinn's eyes flashed with anger. "Very well. I shall go and see him myself. Wait here, and you will soon see justice done." Jinn confronts the camel. The jinn gathered his dust cloak and rolled away across the sands until he found the camel. True to his reputation, the camel was not working, but staring lazily at his own reflection in a still pool of water. "My long-necked friend," said the jinn sternly, "what's this I hear of you doing no work?" Camel and reflection. The camel lifted his head from the still pool and saw the powerful jinn standing above him. Then he looked back at the water, where the jinn's reflection now glimmered beside his own. The camel turned away lazily, taking a deep breath. With no concern in the world, he prepared to say his one favorite word. Jinn plans his magic. "Humph," said the camel with a snort, proud of himself. The jinn sat down upon the warm sand, resting his chin in his hand. He began to think a great magic, for a simple scolding would never be enough. The camel paid no attention, still admiring his handsome reflection as if nothing in the desert could trouble him. Jinn scolds the camel. You have forced the horse, the dog, and the ox to work extra since Monday morning, all because of your laziness," the Jinn said sternly. He continued to weave his spell with his thoughts. But the camel only stared at his reflection, ignoring him completely, as if the Jinn were not even there. The Hump appears. "Humph," said the camel one last time, with a snort of pride. But no sooner had he spoken than his back began to puff and swell. It grew and grew until it became a great, wobbly hump right in the middle of his back. The camel stared in disbelief, unable to understand what was happening to him. Jinn explains the hump. The Jinn pointed firmly at the swelling lump. "Do you see that?" he said. "It is your very own hump that you brought upon yourself by refusing to work." The camel twisted his long neck to look, his eyes wide with shock. The new hump was no accident. It was his punishment, a mark to carry forever. Work without eating. The Jinn's voice grew calm but stern. "Your hump is not only a burden, it is also a tool. Because you missed 3 days of work, you will now be able to survive 3 days without food or water. That is its purpose." The camel shifted uneasily, realizing his laziness had changed him in more ways than one. Camel joins the others. The camel sighed and lowered his proud head. Slowly, he turned from the silent desert and walked toward the horse, the dog, and the ox. They watched him approach, relief softening their tired faces. From that day forward, every camel worked with the others. Yet the hump remained, a permanent reminder that laziness always leaves its mark. What about you? The camel's hump was both a punishment and a tool. It became a lasting mark of laziness, and at the same time, a strange gift for survival. What about you? What challenge or consequence in your life has left a lasting mark and shaped who you are? Share in the comments. Your words might leave a mark and be a tool to inspire someone. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share for more fun English lessons.